Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video we're going to learn how to automatically repurpose website content into a WordPress blog using AI. So I am an owner of a skincare brand and I like to post content related to my business to create more customers' engagement. I have created a record of all the websites of which I want to recreate the content and post it as my own vlogs on WordPress. I have created a record of all those websites URL in Google Sheets. So here what I want is that as soon as I'm going to add the details of the website in Google Sheets, automatically with the help of that website URL, I'm going to scrape the details of that website using Firecrawl. As then I'm going to scrape the details out, I want to create a record of that scraped details as a document with the help of Google Docs, okay? As I'm going to do all of that, what I want is next, I want to regenerate that content using Google Generative AI, that is Google Gemini. So I'm going to regenerate the content using Gemini, and as I'm going to generate the content, then I want to post that content and create it as a post in my WordPress site. Now doing all of this manually takes a lot of time. So what I did was I simply created an automation using Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. So if you want to learn about this amazing automation, then let me take you all to my screen. Welcome to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to automatically repurpose website content into WordPress blog using AI. So I am an owner of a skincare brand and I find it challenging to keep my blog updated while managing other responsibilities. So by automating the process with Pabbly Connect, I can take the existing content from different websites, have it optimized using AI and automatically post it as a WordPress vlog without having to write anything from scratch. Now, my website stays fresh with new vlogs, which helps me to engage with my audience and improve my site's visibility, all while saving me hours each week. And I'm going to be creating this amazing automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign in to my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to give it as Automatically Repurpose Website Content into a WordPress blog using AI. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. Next, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. So these are the folders from which I'm going to select Repurpose Website Content Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to our workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Automatically Repurpose Website Content into a WordPress blog using AI, and there are 2 windows in front of you. One over here says Trigger, other says Action. Trigger and Action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these 2 concepts. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means our action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first, and for the trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Google Sheets. As in my Google Sheets, I have created a record of all the websites from which I want to scrape the data out with the titles of my vlogs that I want to create in my WordPress as post. Okay, I've created a record of the website as well as the title. You can see right over here. And here what I want is that as soon as I'm going to enter the title as well as the website right over here, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response to the title and the website in the response right over here. Okay, so that is for the trigger application. I've selected it as Google Sheets, and for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row, as whenever the new data is going to be entered into the spreadsheet, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, we are going to create a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, I'm going to open the spreadsheet that I've created with the help of Google Sheets. So this is a spreadsheet that I've created and I want to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect. For connecting the spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect, from the panel right over here, click on Extensions. Under Extensions, click on Add-ons and then click on Get Add-ons. A new window is then going to appear in front of you, on which on the search bar we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm going to search over here for Pabbly Connect webhooks. I'm going to select it. As you can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you have not installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, please do install it so that you can connect Pabbly Connect with Google Sheets. Okay, so that's why it is very important to install Pabbly Connect webhooks. As I've already installed it, I'm going to refresh this page from here. As I've refreshed the page, go back to extensions over here. Under extensions, now you can see the option Pabbly Connect webhooks. I'm going to click on it, and from the given options, click on this initial setup button. As you're going to do that, a dialog box is then going to appear in front of you. And over here in the dialog box, it is asking for the webhook URL and for the trigger column. So for the webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be a final data column on which if the data is added. So in this spreadsheet, my trigger column is going to be column B because in this column, the final data is going to be added. So for the trigger column over here, I'm going to select it as column B. And then I'm going to click on this submit button. As you can see, it says setup configured successfully. So as I've done that and as I've entered the data right over here, I'm going to click on the send test button over here as well. As I've done that, it says the test data has been sent. Okay, as we have done that, now the steps that I'm going to tell you are very important. So please do not forget to follow them. Okay, go back to extensions and Pabbly Connect webhooks. From the given options, now click on the send on event button. As over here, it is saying working. As the loading is completed, I'm going to go back to extensions and Pabbly Connect webhooks. You can see a tick mark is in front of send on event. Now, whenever you're going to enter the title and the URL in the spreadsheet, automatically the spreadsheet is going to send that data to Pabbly Connect. Okay, whenever you're going to enter the new data over here. Okay, so the data is then going to be forwarded to Pabbly Connect. Okay, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. You can see in my workflow, we have received the response. Okay, in the response, we have received the title that we have entered in our Google Sheets as we have clicked on send data button. You can see, remember, we have clicked on test data button. So the title with the URL is now been captured in the response right over here. The title over here said introducing new skincare line expert tips for glowing skin. Okay, so this was the title that I want to generate the vlog for. You can see right over here, and this is the website URL right over here from which I'm going to scrape the data. Okay, if I'm going to open this URL, you can see right over here, it's a WordPress post of another company right over here, and I want to scrape the data of this blog right over here. Okay, so that is why I've entered the URL. You can see right over here that I am going to scrape the details from. Okay, so this is the URL. You can see right over here. Okay, and in this response we have received the same URL. If I'm going to copy this from here and open it in a new tab right over here, you can see this is the same vlog right over here. So this is the URL that we have entered in Google Sheets with the title also as introducing a new skincare line expert tips from glowing skin. You can see right away this was the same title that I've entered in my Google Sheets. As we have received the response of that, this means that Google Sheets is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. Now whenever we are going to enter a new website with the title over here, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. As the trigger setup is done, as we have now received the details of the website that we want to scrape, now we're going to scrape out the details. And how we're going to do that? For that, we're going to set up our action step. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as fire crawl. As with the help of fire crawl, I'm going to scrape the details. And for the action event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as add a crawl. Okay, as I want to add the crawl first, so I'm going to select over here as add a crawl, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A new window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection. After doing that, you can see over here it is asking for the API key. With the help of this API key, we're going to connect Firecrawl to Pabbly Connect. To have the access of the API key, log into your Firecrawl account. As you can see that I've already logged into my Firecrawl account, and over here on the dashboard of the account, you can see the API key is given to us. So I'm going to copy this key from here, and then I'm going to paste this key over here in the API section and click on the save button. As you can see that the Firecrawl is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. As we have done that, now it is asking for the URL. For the URL over here, we have to enter the URL that we have to start crawling out the data from. So what we are going to do is, for the URL over here, we are going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, you can see this was the previous step of this workflow, that is Google Sheets, your updated spreadsheet row. As I'm going to click on it, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. As over here in this, you can see right over here, the URL is provided to us. So what I'm going to do is, from my previous response, I'm going to select the URL data, okay? As I've selected data from my previous response, the data is mapped. And as I map the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data, okay? So as I've entered the URL from which I want to crawl out the data from, next over here it is asking for the other details like the include path and the exclude path. I do not require the field, so I'm going to skip the part, okay? Next it is asking for the max depth. Over here for the max depth, I'm going to write it as 0, okay? Next it is asking for the ignore sitemap. I'm going to select it as false right over here. For the limit, the maximum number of pages to crawl, I'm going to select it as 1 right over here, because this is the number that I want the pages to be crawled out of, okay? After that, for the allow backward links, I'm going to select it as false right over here. Allow internal content links, I'm going to select it as false. Next, it is asking for the format of the output that is going to come. I'm going to select that as markdown right over here, because this is the format that I want, okay? Next, it is asking for all the other details like the include tags, exclude tags. I do not require the field, so I'm going to skip the part. For the main content, choose if you want only to return to the main content here. I'm going to select over here that true, okay? Next, it is asking for the wait for in the webhook. I do not require the field, so I'm going to skip the part. And after that, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I'm going to click on the save and send test request button, you can see over here we have received the URL of the crawl right over here with the ID and the success as 1, okay? So this is a positive response. Now as we have the crawl URL, now I want to get that, okay? I want to get the details of the crawl that is done. For that, we're going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application, again, I'm going to select it as fire crawl right over here. And for the action event, as I want to get the details, I'm going to click on this get crawl status right over here. So I'm going to select over here get crawl status, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. As I have the existing connection, I'm going to select this option, but if you want, you can add a new connection. Then I'm going to click on this save button. As I'm going to do that, it is asking for the job ID. In my previous response, we have received the job ID right away, so I'm going to map the data of that ID, because with the help of this ID, we are going to get the crawl status details. So that is why I map the data of the ID. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. As I've done that, you can see right over here, we have received a response, which is a positive response. For the status of the crawl beat coming as completed. And over here, we've received the content from the website. We have scraped out the content. Let's see the content. You can see right over here, this is the content that has been scraped out from the website that I have entered in my Google Sheets. Okay, this is the website, and this is the content that is scraped out from it with the help of Firecrawl. Okay, and over here, we've received the content in a markdown format as well. You can see right over here. So as we have received the content, this means that we successfully scraped out the content from the website that we have entered in our Google Sheets with the help of Firecrawl. Okay, and you're going to receive the information, the data, like in the similar manner. We have received the title also right over here. You can see with the URL also right over here. Okay, so this means that Firecrawl is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. And as we have taken out the scraped details, now what I want is I want to create a record of all the details that has been scraped out with the help of Firecrawl in my Google Docs as a document. Okay, because I want to maintain all the documents of the data that is scraped out. So that is why what I want to do is I want to create a record of all the scraped data at one place. I want to create a document, a Google document out of it. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do is we are going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Google Docs. As in my Google Docs, I have created a template in which I am adding the details of the data that has been scraped out from the website. Okay, so this is the template that I've created, as you can see right over here, with the title, website link, and the scraped content. I want that as soon as the data is going to be scraped out with the help of Firecrawl, automatically a document of that data should be created, just so that I can manage all the data. Okay, so for creating the document, I have created this template right over here, scraped content template. As you can see right over here, this is a template that I've created, and I'm going to create this template as a document for the data that is going to be scraped out using Firecrawl. Okay, so in this template, you can see in front of the value and in the end of the value, there are two curly brackets. So what is this? This is a variable right over here. In place of this variable, I want the value of the title right over here. So that is why this is the template with the title, the link, and the scraped content you can see right over here. So in place of these variables, the values are going to be added. Okay, so that is why for the action application, we have selected as Google Docs. And for the action event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as create document from template, because with the help of this template, we are going to be creating the document. So that is why for the action event, I'm going to select it as create document from template. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. A new window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection. After that, click on sign in with Google. As I've done that, a new window is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for a permission. So I'm going to click on allow, as the save process my data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button. As you can see that we successfully authorized Google Docs with Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, it is asking for us to select the template document with the help of which the documents are going to be created. The template you have to select right over here. So I've created a template in the name of scraped content template. So what I'm going to do is for the document over here, I'm going to select that same template, that is scraped content template. Okay. After selecting the template document, it is asking for the new document's name. So now the document is going to be created with the help of this template right over here. We have to give that document a name. So for the name of my document, I'm going to map the data of the name of my title that I've received over here. This is the title that I've received. I'm going to map that data right over here. Okay. Next, it is asking for the new document's location. So I have created a folder in my Google Drive in the name of scraped content documents, in which I want to store all the documents that are going to be the scraped content documents. So what I'm going to do is for the location over here, I'm going to select as scraped content documents, as I want all the documents to be saved at this location right over here. Okay. After that, you can see it is asking for the title, the website link, and the scraped content. So in this template, I've created three variables: title, website link, and the scraped content. And in place of the variables, I want the values. So these are the same variables right over here. So for the title over here, I'm going to map the data of the title that has been scraped out. This is the data of the title. For the website link, I'm going to map the data of the website link out of which I've scraped the data. So I'm going to map the data of the website link from my Google Sheet steps. And for the scraped content, I'm going to map the data of the markdown type content right over here for the scraped content field. Okay, then I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I've done that over here, I've received a response, which is a positive response, as because I've received the document ID, as you can see right over here. So now I'm going to open a Google Drive folder, and yes, you can see right over here the document has been created. I'm going to open this document from here, and this is the content that has been scraped out. You can see right over here, this is the same content right over here with the title, the link of the website from which I've scraped out the content, and the content that has been scraped out. Okay, so as the document has now been created, that means it's fully added this step to this workflow that we have created for Google Docs. As we have now created the record, we have created the record of the content, the details that has been scraped out from the website. Now what I want is, I want to repurpose, I want to generate a vlog out of the scraped content, okay, so that I can post it on my WordPress site. So now what I'm going to do is, for generating the content, the vlog, I'm going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application, what I'm going to do is, I am going to select it as Gemini, that is Google AI Studio, which is Google Generative AI. Okay, so I'm going to select my action application as Google Gemini, as with the help of Google Gemini, we are going to generate the vlog, and later on we are going to post it on our WordPress site. Okay, and for the action event, I'm going to select as generate content. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. A new window is going to appear in front of you, on which you can add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection. After that, you can see it is asking for the API key. With the help of this API key, I'm going to connect Google Gemini to Pabbly Connect. To have the access of the API key, in the help desk, we have received the hyperlink of Google AI Studio. Click on it. As you go to click on it, you will be landed towards the Google AI Studio page. From the left side of the panel, go to Get API button right over here. And over here, you will be landed towards the API keys page. Click on Create API Key button. Click on Got It button. Over here, select a project from this drop down right over here. I'm going to select a random project from here. As I've selected the project, click on Create API button. This is the API key. I'm going to copy this from here and I'm going to paste it over here in my API key section. I'm going to close this AI Studio tab and then I'm going to click on the Save button. As you can see that Google AI Studio, that is Google Gemini, is not connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting, you can see right over here it is asking for the text. The text is the prompt with the help of which Google Gemini is going to generate the content for. So for the text over here, for the prompt over here, I'm going to write it as. So this is the prompt for which I want to generate the content for. I'm going to read the prompt. I am an owner of a skincare brand. I scrape website in order to post it as content in my vlogs. I want to repurpose this content that I've scraped from different websites and publish it again as vlogs on WordPress. The title is the title. For the title, I'm going to map the data of the title right over here that I have written. And over here it says the content is scraped content. For the scraped content, I'm going to map the data of the markdown format content that I've received in my Firecrawl step. So I'm going to map the data right over here. It says generate and repurpose the content as I want to post it on my WordPress site as vlogs to attract more customers to my business, Natural Glow Skincare. I want the content in HTML format with proper H1 and H2 tags. Okay, so this is the whole prompt that I've written right over here, and I want the generated content to be with HTML tags with proper H1 and H2 tags right over here. Okay, HTML format should be there. So this is the prompt for which I want to generate the content for. I've written it right over here. So after writing the prompt, for the models, I'm going to select the models as Gemini Pro, and for the methods, I'm going to select as generate content as I want to generate the content for the prompt that I've written. And after that, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I've done that, you can see right over here, we have received a response. In this response, we have received the content that has been generated as vlog. You can see right over here with proper HTML tags and formatting. You can see right over here. Okay. So as the content has now been generated as a vlog, what I want is I want to post this vlog on my WordPress site to create more customers engagement. So for creating the vlog on my WordPress, I'm going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application, what I'm going to do is I am going to select it as WordPress. And for the action event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as create a post, as now we are going to create a post, that is we are going to create a vlog in our WordPress site. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A new window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection. Okay, after that you can see it is asking for the details in order to connect WordPress to Pabbly Connect, like WordPress username, the password and the base URL. So I'm going to fill in the details right over here. As I've filled in all the required details, I'm going to click on the save button. As you can see right over here, WordPress is now connected to Pabbly Connect. After that, over here it is asking for the post type. So for the post type over here, I'm going to select it as post, as I want to create a post on my WordPress account. For the post title, as I have written the post title in my Google Sheets, you can see right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the data of that title right over here. Okay. Next, it is asking for the post content. So for the post content, I'm going to map the data of the content that is generated with the help of Google Gemini. So the post content, I've mapped the data right over here. Next, it is asking for the slug and all the other details. I do not require the field, so I'm going to skip the part. Next, it is asking for the status. The status, you can either choose it as published, future, draft, pending, or private. I'm going to select the status over here as draft, as the content that I'm generating with the help of Gemini is going to be auto-generated. I want to first review the content before publishing it on my WordPress site, so that if there is any other mistake and I want to make any changes, my team can first make the changes and then publish it by themselves. Okay, so that is why for the status I'm going to select it as draft right over here. It is asking for the category ID and tags. I do not require the field, so I'm going to skip the part. After that, it is asking for the featured media ID. I do not require any feature media ID, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle this map bracket right over here and erase the existing data from here, as I do not require any featured media ID. Okay. After that, it is asking for the format. So for the format over here, I'm going to select it as the standard format. For the ping status, I'm going to leave it as open, comment status as open again. Author ID, I'm going to select the author ID from here. You can select the author ID according to your requirement. Sticky as fall. For the password, date and the other data, I'm going to skip the part as I don't require the field. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As I've done that, you can see right over here, we have received a response, which is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my WordPress site and the post page of my WordPress account and I'm going to check whether a new post has been created in my WordPress account or not. For that, I'm going to open my WordPress account. So this is the all post section in my WordPress account. I'm going to refresh this page from here. As I've refreshed the page, you can see right over here a draft of a new post has been created. I'm going to open this post from here. So this is the post and this is the preview link. I'm going to open this link in a new tab and you can see right over here we have posted the vlog on our WordPress site, as you can see right over here with the HTML formatting. This is the vlog that has been generated with the image also, you can see right over here. Okay, so as the blog is now been posted on my WordPress site, this means that we successfully created an automation between all of these applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of a skincare brand and I like to repurpose website content in order to create WordPress vlogs, and then I can post them so that I can create more customers engagement. And doing that manually took me a lot of time. So what I did was I automated this entire process with Pabbly Connect. I create a record of all the websites with the titles of the blog that I want to post in my Google Sheets and the websites that I want to scrape the details out from. Okay, so here what I wanted was that as soon as I'm going to enter the titles and the URL in my Google Sheets, automatically, firstly with the help of the URL, I wanted to scrape the details from the URL. As with the help of Firecrawl, I've scraped all the details out from the website. I have created a record of that scraped content in my Google Docs. I've created a document of that scraped content, and after creating the documentation of the scraped content, I want to generate the vlog with the help of that scraped content using an AI. So I used Google Gemini for that. So with the help of Google Gemini, I generated the vlog, and as the vlog was generated, I posted that on my WordPress account. I've created a post of that content on my WordPress account, and for that I've created this amazing automation between all these applications with Pabbly Connect. So if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.